Good morning. Happy Saturday. Saturday. I apologize. The landscapers in the back, so you're going to hear a bunch of noise behind me. I apologize. But I am happy to be here on Saturday, and I'm happy to go through notable news. So today is Notable News Day. I'm going to quickly highlight some of the articles that I posted on LinkedIn. You can get each of them from my LinkedIn post. So if you just cruise my LinkedIn, I'll tell you which day they were. There's a link. So I do a post. I explain the article, talk summary, impact, action points, and then I put a link to the article so that you can get it. Let's get right into it because I want to cover some stuff at the end. First article from Monday was Market's Gradual Shift to Higher Rate Mortgages Continues. This is a super important article if you're a loan officer, because this brings good news. And I'll just give you the statistic right now. As of May, 24% of homeowners had mortgages higher than 5%. So about 1 out of 4 mortgages is now above 5%. And that compares to a year ago when 9 out of 10 were less than 5%. All right, super important, right? So 25% of people now have a mortgage above 5 versus last year, 9 out of 10 had a mortgage less than 5. And what that means is that as the market comes down, as we, cut our rates and cut our margins, cut our comp, we're going to be able to service those people that are above a 5. And the other thing is the psychology around mortgages. Homeowners don't necessarily, borrowers don't have a reversion to a rate today. They have the reversion or the apprehension or anxiety is comparing it to a rate yesterday. So today, home buyers are comparing interest rates to last month, not to 3 years ago, not to 5 years ago. It's a relatively short period of comparison. And we're getting to the point where most homeowners and home buyers are comfortable with a rate in the 6s, and that no longer is scaring them. So that was really good news from that article. The next article that we covered is mortgage rates retreating from 7%. That was an article in Inman News. Another good article just talks about how inflation is starting to weaken. The numbers are looking good, and that we should start to see the likelihood of a Fed cut is becoming stronger and stronger. So it was a mostly positive article. I covered this on one of my live sessions. You can go back and check it out. The name of the article, Mortgage Rates Retreating from 7% on Massive Revision to Job Reports. Next article I post on LinkedIn, I think was Tuesday. This was the Mortgage Monitor Report. This report is 25 pages, chock full of great data, great charts. I would use it. I actually used it in a couple of my posts this week, and I talked about it on my live sessions a couple times. If you were listening earlier this week from the Mortgage Monitor Report, I gave a top 10 reasons why people are renting, the top 10 reasons driving homeowners to sell, and the top 10 reasons people are choosing not to sell their home. So why people rent, why homeowners are selling, and why homeowners aren't selling. I'm not going to go through that now. I did go through that on a live post on Tuesday or Wednesday, so you can check that out, or you can go to my LinkedIn, print the article. Next was a really quick hit. Oh, by the way, Wednesday, for the first time in a few weeks, I was dark on LinkedIn. For the first time, I think, in 3 weeks, I did not post on the day. And Wednesday was both a travel day and probably Glenn and I's peak COVID day. And so we were just a little behind the time. So I'm sorry about not posting on Wednesday. I did come back Thursday. I started by posting this chart from the Census Bureau. This chart speaks to the rise in home ownership among younger households. If you pull this chart up, what it shows is that younger households, those people less than 35, saw the highest growth by age in the last, I forget what the data set is, in the last 5 years. So home ownership from the young is growing faster. Matter of fact, it was very static, 65 years and older, even 55 and older, only 0.1% growth in household formation. So going forward, under 35 crowd, somebody want to market to. So that was the rise in home ownerships among households. I posted that on Thursday. You could click to get to the chart if you want it. Next was I posted the Bach report from Peter Bachbar. You may be familiar with Peter's work because Barry Habib quotes him all the time. I think Barry's pretty good friends with him. They chat all the time. His newsletter on this day was inflation continues to moderate. And in it, he just discussed the components of inflation, how energy prices are down, food prices are fairly flat, service prices are flat, home costs up slightly, medical care up slightly. But you can get the inside scoop on inflation from the Bach report. There you go. Next thing I posted was who do Gen Z and millennials live with in America? This is from Sherwood News. It's actually in their newsletter Charter, Chartr. Really interesting stuff. In this, what it says is 18 to 24-year-olds, listen to this. This is for who does Gen Z live with. So 18 to 24-year-olds live with, 55% live with their parents, 20% live alone or with a roommate, 15% live with a partner, 6% live with other family, and 4% are other, live in their car or something. So 55% of people in the age group of 18 to 24 live with their parents. Yeah, only 20% live alone or with a roommate. Right? That's interesting. So if you go to the demographic or the age group of 25 to 34, so I just read that younger, 18 to 24, 55% with parents, but the 35 or 25 to 34-year-olds, right? 25 to 34, 45% live with a partner, reasonable. Hopefully they're, most likely their spouse. 26% live alone or with a roommate. Only 15% live with parents, 9% with other family, and 5% other. But the interesting thing there isn't that interesting? The age group 18 to 24, only 6% live with them with other family, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, But in the age group of 25 to 34, 9% live with other family. Interesting, huh? Maybe brothers and sisters, I don't know. But pretty interesting. So it had some interesting statistics in there. Really easy. It's Sherwood Charter. I think that's a free newsletter, but if not, you can access it through my LinkedIn. Get the data. All good. Moving on to yesterday, I think. Yesterday, I posted, highlighted the NAR 2024 membership profile. I did a live session on this yesterday. I summarized this, whatever it is, 30-page report. I summarized it in a LinkedIn article. My LinkedIn article is about 800 words, and it looks something like this. It's just full of data. If you go to the article, it's just, it's captioned, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, right? And if you want to learn about real estate agents, the environment that real estate agents exist in, how much on average they earn, how much business they do on average, their tenure, all that stuff. Check out this article. Check out my article on LinkedIn. Check out all my articles, by the way. I appreciate it if you do. Comment if you do. Now, getting away from that, getting to this morning, I posted a Housing Wire article. The financial strength of U.S. homeowners is a cushion against downturn. What this article speaks to is how much equity homeowners have today. And so, on average, homeowners have more equity than they have mortgage debt. So they have less than 50% loan to value. And because of that, homeowners will do whatever they have to do to make sure they're making their payments and keeping their house. That's really what the article is about. Super positive, speaks to how much equity there is in the United States. You can check it out. Also speaks to how much equity by state. Interesting article. I posted it this morning. Go to my LinkedIn, click through. Now, Housing Wire is behind a paywall. So when I post an article that's behind a paywall, sometimes they'll let you access it. Like sometimes you get 3 free accesses or 5 or whatever it happens to be. But whenever I post about an article behind a paywall, I try to give a lot more data from that article. I mean, I try to give you the gist, the meat of the article, so in case you can't access it, you still get the statistics. So that's what I try to do in my post today. Tomorrow I have a couple of fun posts, I would say. I'm going to say one for the last. I have one fun and one all business. I have a post highlighting Nora Aguirre's article in Chicago Agent magazine. Nora is the current president of NAREP. She is excellent. She's actually real prolific on articles. I've featured a couple of her articles, one in each last 2 weeks. Super well thought out. The title of the article is "Buyers Agents Play a Vital Role in Growing Home Ownership." One of the interesting perspectives in this article is she speaks to the role that buyer's agent plays in the Hispanic path of home ownership, and that segment might need different types of support and service that really is critical in helping them achieve the American dream of home ownership. And so she speaks to that specifically, and that's not the only culture that might need to have a different type of service, to help them get through the process. And when I say that, it's just, understanding the process. That's what I'm talking about. But it's an interesting article. She's always really well thought out. I enjoy reading her. It was featured in Agent Magazine. I think it was actually reposted either in Inman or in Housing Wire. But check it out. I'm posting this tomorrow, so tomorrow morning, I think at 7 or 8 o'clock, if you want to access it through my LinkedIn, you can. That gets me to the fun article of the day, which is a YouGov study. I've never heard of YouGov, but it's in-flight drama where Americans sit on airline etiquette. And as we know, airlines are at record level. Travel's at record level, right? On July 3rd, set a new record. 3 million people went through TSA on July 3rd alone. Set a new record. And the previous record was set in June, so just a few weeks ago. But in this, which I'm posting tomorrow, this YouGov article, it lists things that, etiquette. And the question is it acceptable or unacceptable? So I'm gonna give you a handful of the most unacceptable behaviors on a plane, right? So 86% of flyers believe it's unacceptable to let your kids play in the aisle. So 86% is the number one thing that make people mad. Don't let your kids play in the aisle on the plane. Number two, 82% believe it's unacceptable to get drunk. Well, that's certainly evident. We see a lot of crazy people on planes lately. And some of these crazy people are getting crazy after one drink. Anyway, so 82% say it is unacceptable to get drunk. Number three, 82% say it's unacceptable to leave your seat, when the seatbelt sign is on because you're in turbulence. Right? And we've seen a lot of crazy turbulence, right? That guy that went through the baggage thing when he hit turbulence, it's crazy. Number four, unacceptable. 81% say it's unacceptable. Number five. Number four. Hold on. Number four. 81% say it's unacceptable to watch a movie or a show without your headphones. Who does that? Why would you do that? I don't even get that. Next, 79% of people say leaving trash in the seat back pocket when you exit the plane. Just take that trash with you. Don't stuff it in there. Next is 74% that when you're using both armrests when you have people on each side of you. Don't use them both. I don't know exactly what you do. Use one maybe. The next, 68% said it's unacceptable to eat strong-smelling food. That's hilarious. Interesting too. Now that airlines are serving less and less food, people are bringing more and more food on. I wonder where the cutoff is. Can you bring a Whopper but not a Euro sandwich? I don't know. All right. Next is it's 66% of people say it's unacceptable not to pay attention during the safety demonstration. Who's voting on that? Really? Who really watches that? I would like to survey how many people pay attention to that. All right, 65% say exiting the plane before the people in the row in front of them, unacceptable. I put that up towards the top, by the way. 65% said that. 64% said it's unacceptable not to set their devices to airplane mode. How would you know that? How do you know if somebody's device is in airplane mode? That's just, doing craziness. All right, 63% said it's unacceptable to do exercises in the aisle. Now, I've never witnessed this, but if I witnessed it, I'd probably say it's unacceptable. I don't know. What kind of exercises are you doing in the aisle? Are you doing bench presses? 55% said it's unacceptable to remove your shoes. I'm probably in that boat, by the way. I don't remove my shoes, but think it's unacceptable. Now, 53% said it's unacceptable to climb over a seatmate to use the bathroom. Well, I don't like the word climb over, but if you gotta use the bathroom, you gotta use the bathroom, right? It goes on. Oh, by the way, this is just the next one. 51% said it's unacceptable to watch a movie that includes sex or nudity. That kind of makes sense, right? 50% said it's unacceptable to bring a cat on board. It goes on. I'm surprised only 43% said it's unacceptable to make a phone call. I'd put that like at 100%. Anyway, I'm posting this tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. YouGov. If you want to know what's acceptable, etiquette for airlines, all good. Now, I'm going to wrap up just with a couple of news and notes that caught my attention the last couple of days. Here's the, where is my news notes? Here's a couple things. So we're talking about air travel, and we talked about how air travel had the busiest day on July 3rd, 3 million people. But I read an article the other day, and the International Air Transport Association's director was quoted as saying that on average, airlines only earn $6 per fare. $6, right? That's how much they earn. And in the article I read, it had a pie chart of all the expenses, and it was crazy. It's $6, and almost the fixed operating cost equal the cost of the ticket. Now, why in the world would you have companies worth billions and billions where you spend billions and billions to make $6 on a fare? Like, I don't understand that, honestly. I don't. But it was very much when we talked about a couple of weeks ago that on average, cruise lines only earn like $100 on a passenger on a cruise. Like, that's another place. Capital intensive, billions of dollars, you're not making any money. But anyway, so I thought that was pretty interesting. About half of Americans plan to fly at least once this summer. So we're definitely out and about. But the country is still short about 3,000 air traffic controllers, which is really adding to the delays and problems of flying. So that's air travel news. I got one other thing that I saw that I don't understand, and maybe you guys understand. And it has to be, and I don't even know how to say these things, romantasy books. And the article explained, it blends romance and fantasy. Think of 50 Shades of Grey, in a land where dragons, exist. Not that the dragons are doing the 50 Shades, but, maybe like Game of Thrones or something, right? I'm not familiar with this genre, but this genre of books have surged. They've almost doubled in sales the first half of this year. 5 of the 10 best-selling books are these romantasies. Authors like Maas and Yaros, Rebecca Ross. Matter of fact, Maas, Yaros, and Rebecca Ross sold 20 million books last year. Those 3 authors were responsible for 20 million book sales. Compared to James Patterson, Stephen King, and John Grisham, 6 million. So those other 3, that's 3.5 times more than these authors that say I might be more familiar with. Do you guys read romantasies? I mean, it's super popular. Give you an idea, last year, 767 print books were sold, which was down 3% from the year before in 2022, right? And 80% of the market is controlled by 5 publishers. But you think this, if the market's down 3% and these romantasy books are up almost double, that without them, that market would really be suffering. Now, I've never read one of these books. I guess it's probably good. If you guys know, let me know. If you want to recommend a book, what the heck. There you go. So that's news and notes. We covered all sorts of stuff. We covered a little bit of inflation, interest rates, the environments that real estate agents work in. We covered some off things like, about plane etiquette. Tomorrow is book club day. I'm really looking forward to it. I am pumped up, fired up, ready to roll on book club. You're going to love the book. I hope you join me. I'll be here about 7:30. Have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thanks.